EFCC gets court order to detain Accountant General of the Federation over fraud suspicion. Protesters storm FCT Minister's office over extension of local council chairman tenure. Police in Katsina repel bandits' attack on villages in 2 local councils. And on the foreign scene, China hit by 4.8 magnitude earthquake. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has secured a court order to detain the embattled Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris, for more days. An official of the anti-graft agency, who did not want to be quoted, told Daily Trust that the legal department of the commission secured the order within 24 hours after Idris was arrested in Kano. Although the detective did not state the court where the order was obtained, he explained that they have been relying on the order to keep him in their custody pending the conclusion of their investigation. And hundreds of residents of the Abuja Municipal Area Council have shut down the office of Malam Muhammad Bello, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, and the FCT Administration Secretariat over the inauguration of a new elected council chairman and councillors. Chamun Dabeng reports.
This is the FCT Secretariat, where a group of protesters have gathered to demand the swearing in of a new AMAC chairman. According to the group, Christopher Zakame Kalangu emerged as winner to the February elections. However, the scheduled swearing in, which was supposed to happen today, has been shelved.
As you all know, on February, chairmanship and councillorship elections were conducted, and winners emerged. And after the winners emerged, there was supposed to be a swearing in today. But we woke up at the eve of yesterday to discover a press statement from the Minister of FCT that the swearing in has been cancelled. And we are here to know why the swearing in was cancelled.
I noticed yesterday that the swearing has been cancelled. On what not? On what account? So we want to know, and the swearing must take place today.
I want to plead to the Honorable Chairman to look into this thing that is happening for peace to reign and hand over to my Kalangu and swear him in, so that if there is any case, if they like, they should continue. But today we want the swearing in for peace to, to reign. Thank you.
It is unfair. 2016, we did not fight. We did not argue with anybody. We did not go to court. We hand over the thing for them peacefully. Sometimes he came back for the second time. 2019, we gave him to him with no fight, nothing. Why is it our turn? You are now creating a law that is not even in the constitution. What crime has the indigenous person committed in the FCT that you cannot give us our rights? Let it be given to us. It is our right. And I bet you all, the minister, FCT, as it is now, I, Comrade Yakubu Shekolo, I have mobilized roughly 500 of persons with disability. If nothing is being done, I bet you that there will not be movement on Monday for the whole time of Abuja. We are going to block the highway.
The group of protesters are visibly enraged by the turn of events and are determined to get answers. Chamun Dabeng, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And now to matters of security, where the police in Katsina on Thursday repelled 2 terrorist attacks at Dabebayawa and Antankari villages in Batagarawa and Dutsuma local government areas of the state. The police also said it neutralized 6 terrorists and recovered 1 AK-47 assault rifle, 110 cows, 242 sheep and goats during the operation. Abdullahi Yamadi has more.
The police authority in Katsina says the operation followed a distress call that terrorists in their hundreds attacked Dantankari village in Dusumwa local government and rustled unspecified number of animals. It also says the area commander Dusumwa led a team of police and vigilante to block the terrorists at Mararabar Sayaya in Matazu local government.
Similarly, on that same date, being the 17th of May, another distress call was received in the axis of Atagarawa, Dabaybayawa village. It's a farmhouse of one of our retired Inspector General, Assistant Inspector General of Police, AIG Lawal Mani. They went to his farm and attacked the security guards in that house and cutted away all the animals.
The police assured that the search teams are combing the nearby bushes to arrest some of the fleeing terrorists.
We succeeded in arresting a member of a notorious syndicate of terrorists, one Tanimu Hashim, 23 years, of Sabangida Kotas, was arrested here in Katsina by a policeman on patrol attached to the office of the area commander Metro, and in the course of investigation he confessed that actually he belongs to the camp of one notorious leader of terrorists, Ado Serki.
Similarly, the police command said it has arrested a member of terrorist syndicate who confessed to have participated in several attacks on communities in Katsina State. I was conscripted into this case. They only asked me to follow them, not knowing they are going to steal something from the telecommunications mast in Mashi town. God knows I'm innocent. In another operation, a syndicate of vandals who specialize in stealing telecommunications cables and coils was busted and arrested in Katsina State. The 4 suspects, who are between the ages of 18 to 25, have confessed to vandalizing telecommunications masts in Mashi local government. Meanwhile, 2 suspected car thieves, Aminu Musa and Kabiru Saidu of Ketere village of Kankara local government area, were also arrested for stealing a Honda Civic with registration number ABC 800 SL. I am not a thief. In fact, I have no connection with the stolen car because I was only asked to escort them to Bauchi, which I did. This is all I know. I stole this car in Abuja using a master key. I wanted to sell it and use the money to solve some personal problems. Nemesis caught up with me and I was arrested. The Katsina State Police Command is also investigating Babangida Danjuma, Muhammad Abdurrahman, Nasiru Lawal, Abdullahi B. Muhammad, and one Ibrahim, now at large, who were arrested in possession of vehicle suspected to be stolen. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Asu Muhammad, a resident of Ring Road in Jos North local government area of Plateau State, has explained how a kidnapper killed his colleague when they stormed his house to kidnap his wife. Trust TV News reports that the incident occurred on Monday night when the family of the victim were asleep.
Hassan, who is currently receiving treatment at the Jos University Teaching Hospital after sustaining gunshot injury, told Daily Trust that when the kidnappers forcefully entered his house, they asked for money. But when they were unsuccessful, they decided to go with the victim's wife. However, the victim fought back as the thought of not being able to see his wife again flooded his mind. The victim said he was so angry at the spate of kidnapping in the state and no one was fighting back. He narrated how he wrestled the 2 kidnappers for about 30 minutes. One of the kidnappers shot at the victim where the bullet went through his mouth. As he fired the second shot, it mistakenly hit one of the kidnappers in the stomach area, killing him instantly. Upon seeing that, the other kidnapper fled into the night, leaving the corpse of his colleague.
This incident happened while I was at home with my family. They just barged in with guns in their hands. They asked me for money and I told them I don't have any money. So they made attempt to attack and go with my wife and kids. For me to watch and allow that to happen, it's better for me to lose my life. So I decided to fight back. We began to drag. One of them shot me on my hands, which also touched my mouth. He wanted to fire at me again. Then I got lucky and dodged the bullet. So it shot one of his brother. That was how we fought and struggled for almost an hour. Tired of fighting, the one with gun ran away. So I got lucky. Some people came and rushed me to the hospital. I am very grateful for those people.
Nafisa Mohammed, the wife of the victim, explained how the incident occurred. She said it is something that she would live to remember. She said what they went through is traumatizing and this insecurity must come to an end. She said her husband is lucky to be alive.
Meanwhile, Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal on Friday lifted a curfew imposed on Sokoto metropolis over the unrest that followed the killing of Deborah Samuel. The governor also banned all forms of procession in the state indefinitely. Samuel, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education, was lynched by a mob over alleged blasphemy. The police arrested 2 suspects in connection with the killing, but a protest demanding their release soon followed. The Delta State Commissioner for Information, Charles Anyagu, says security operatives are on red alert to ensure the safety of lives and property in the state. The commissioner stated this at a post-exco briefing at the Government House, Asaba. He urged the agitators to adopt peaceful measures to press home their demands.
Hopeful that they will be able to ensure that our people go about their businesses legally and lawfully. It is true that some of us believe that the federal government should have been able to handle the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, our brother, much more mature, in such a way that it does not leave what is happening in the southeast. Nobody is happy about what's happening, particularly to the economy of the southeast. And we also plead with our brothers who are asking people to stay at home to take a second look at it, because it does appear that we are inflicting more injury on our people. Security agencies are equal to the task. We trust that they will be able to deal with the issues so that everybody will have the confidence of going about their lawful businesses on day-to-day basis.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. Still to come after the break. Building demolition returns to Abuja. This and more after the break. Do stay with us.
Daily, we bring you updates around politics.
People like you who are very young, you have no future. Anybody now who is 30 years, if what is happening to them continues, by the time you are 60, you will have no country.
The DPO of a particular unit does not have to wait until the commissioner tells him what to do within his jurisdiction.
We have political parties on the ground. Some of them have been there for years. But they themselves, in their own sober moments, they know that this country is not the one they're expecting to run.
Policy and governance.
Are you saying the NBS is lying?
I'm saying to you very clearly that the NBS has a serious problem with accurate data till today.
The 5th Assembly, as well as the 7th Assembly, their own attempts were unproductive.
Emergence of the Taliban has simply emboldened terror groups globally.
There's a lot of attention with regards to security developments in Nigeria.
On Daily Politics, we interrogate issues, holding the actors to account, bearing in mind all the sides.
We heard that in some places now, people have to go and pay tax, not to the local government, not to the state, but to criminals.
Nobody can come to your house and kidnap you without information.
If this country is bleeding, it is bleeding because we have failed to educate our young.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now look at our top stories. EFCC gets court order to detain Accountant General of the Federation. And protesters storm FCT Minister's office over extension of council chairman's tenure. Now moving on to other news. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on the Bauchi state government to entrench the culture of infrastructure maintenance to ensure that citizens benefit maximally from government projects. He stated this in Bauchi while commissioning the upgraded 23.5 billion naira Bauchi Township Water Supply Scheme project supported by the World Bank at Firo Gubi Dam Water Treatment Plant. Adamu Imam filed in this report.
Governor Bala Mohammed had in 2019 flagged of the rehabilitation and expansion of water supply facilities within Bauchi metropolis. President Muhammad Buhari, who was represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Gideon Boss Mustafa, says the project is part of the deliberate policy of the present administration to promote a healthier Nigeria through increased access to improved water supply in some selected areas in some selected states, including Bauchi.
The federal government, under my leadership since 2015, has accorded top priority to policies, programs and projects targeted at promoting good health, well-being and economic development of Nigerian citizens. This objective has been largely driven through investment in infrastructure, harnessing of natural resources, creation of access to services, including basic amenities such as water and basic health care.
Speaking at the event, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed said Bauchi Metropolis has for a long time suffered scarcity of potable water despite population growth.
Mr. President, my government inherited this third water urban water sector from project, a World Bank supported project initiated by your government and my predecessor. The project commenced in 2015 with Bauchi State as one of the selected beneficiary states, a key measure to address the water shortage challenge in Bauchi Metropolis.
The representative of the World Bank country director justified the bank's investment in the project.
State of emergency in the water sector. Water and sanitation are required to improve human capital, to ensure children can go to school, to ensure that children can grow and are not affected by disease, and to create a strong economic workforce.
According to the state government, the multi-billion naira project was designed to ensure affordable and sustainable access to water to consumers within the area. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Demolition exercise of buildings at Trademore Estate at Lugbe, a satellite town in Abuja Municipal Area Council, has begun last Thursday. After deliberations of demolition of houses built on flood-prone areas, officials of the Estate Development Control of the Federal Capital Development Authority, a joint task force comprising the police and state security services, are taking part in the demolition exercise. Trust TV's Aisha Salih reports.
In recent times, residents of Trademore Estate in Lugbe area, a suburb within the Federal Capital Territory, have experienced flooding, which has led to loss of lives and property. As you can see behind me, that building there is on the wreck. In reaction to this, Federal Capital Development Control have marked over 90 houses for demolition. And this demolition exercise was scheduled to take place 48 hours after the mark of these particular structures. But now, residents of this estate are appealing through a protest carried out on Tuesday, 17th of May 2022, asking Development Control to look at other alternatives apart from demolition.
The appeal by the members of the Association of Trademore Residents Management to repeal demolition option after a 48 hours prior notice by the Federal Capital Development Authority is not approved, as dozens of houses were demolished last Thursday. A move that has now rendered many traumatized and homeless.
It has been done already, and we don't know whether they're still coming back. It's sad.
If you see the way houses were being demolished, imagine parents who have gone to work just to come back and notice that they don't longer have a roof over them, or children that went to school and see that they are now rendered homeless.
Senior Special Assistant to the FCT Minister, Iharo Atta, maintained that demolition was the only solution to save lives and property, as the estate developer had no building plan approval before constructing the illegal structures on a flood-prone area. However, some official members of the estate do not agree with the demolition as a solution to the flood situation.
I will give them notices. This house, this you see here, we are marked 3 years ago. 3 years ago. They were even marked from their foundation level. Some over 10 years ago, marked 3 years ago. And when we get to the final stage, we give them 48 hours notice. So we're giving them sufficient notice. Even from their foundation, they were marked because there was no building plan approval for these houses here. And we are built on a floodplain. This is like a dead zone. People die here in flooding.
We can also, work with them in such a way that we, have a fair playing ground. But people discretionally coming into the estate and marking 100 houses for demolition.
The main challenge that we have in Trademore is not in Trademore. It's the water coming into Trademore. Why not find a way of rechanneling the water so that the volume of water coming to Trademore will now be less?
The Federal Capital Territory Development Control says flooding at the estate has become a perennial issue due to buildings of houses on waterways. Non-compliance with safety instructions and early warnings will only worsen matters. Other residents now live in fear, wondering which of the marked buildings will be up for demolition. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Food and Agricultural Organization has urged states to prioritize agriculture in order to tackle food insecurity in Nigeria. The organization made the disclosure at a 3-week training for facilitators of Farmer Field School in Maiduguri. The report.
The Farmer Field School approach is to empower smallholder farmers and rural communities to understand and respond to present challenges. It is also aimed at making contributions in ensuring food and nutrition security for all and building resilience to climate change. The 51 farmer field facilitators drawn from 5 states, which include Taraba, Borno, Yobe, Sokoto, and Adamawa, will be involved in coordinating the farm groups and facilitation of the learning process as competent training masters.
You know that in the Northeast, that has been somehow destroyed by the crisis, the insurgency, where the extension services have suffered a lot. What next is to support also the backstopping, the support also those who have been trained here to provide them with necessary support in order to implement what they have gained here.
For long, our farmers were not trained well. Sometimes they even forgot, because of the insurgency, they even forget what is happening in the field. So this training will color their practices, agricultural practices, so that they will adopt the new innovation that will be provided by the training.
Some participants described the training as timely and are willing to acquire the innovative techniques and play their roles as expected.
It's a commendable feat because we need a lot of this exposure, and I think we keep reminding ourselves that this is something we should do so that our farming system will keep, because this is a very big mine. If we are ready to develop on it and we want to make more money and develop ourselves as individuals.
I believe this training is going to be really helpful. We have our facilitators, they are here, and I am very sure that they will learn a lot from whatever is going to take place as far as this training is concerned. My advice to my colleagues is for them to pay full attention to everything that is going to happen here.
It is expected that after the 3 weeks training, which is funded by the Norwegian government, the Farmer Field School will be a platform for building sustainable production and reduce rural poverty in the Northeast.
Now, in order to reduce the burden of debt and garner more funds, the federal government has been advised to dispose of some abandoned properties littered across the country. The president of the Kwara State Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Kwasima, Olalekon Ayodimiji, gave the advice while addressing journalists in Ilorin. The Kwasima president said that rather than borrowing every time, the government should sell those properties by creating a national register to know which assets can be disposed of to earn income.
If you have an asset register, you can look at through them and say, okay, this one is no longer useful to us as a nation. This one we can afford to do with it. This one we can do that. This one we can do. How much can we realize now? 300 million, 200 billion. Then why not let us dispose them and realize this money instead of going every time to go and borrow?
And now a quick look at the foreign scene, where a magnitude 4.8 earthquake hit Ya'an City, southwest China's Sichuan province. The epicenter was recorded at a depth of 20 kilometers. So far, there has been no report of human casualty or destroyed buildings, and the roads to the affected areas remain opened. But a small number of buildings did sustain slight damage. The earthquake alert system sent out signals about 6.4 seconds after the quake to 10 different digital platforms across the region, including smartphones and TVs. Experts explain that this particular quake comes from a known fault zone in the area, which has produced a handful of quakes over 4.0 since the 1970s. And in sports, Everton have staged a dramatic fight back from 2 goals down to preserve their Premier League status with a 3-2 win against Crystal Palace, while Burnley climbed out of the relegation zone after a 1-1 draw at Aston Villa on Thursday. Frank Lampard's side recovered from conceding twice in the first half as Michael Keane and Richarlison netted after the break before Dominic Calvert-Lewin's late winner sparked wild celebrations at Goodison Park. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. Don't forget, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.